Hello all and welcome. Just across the river on a lovely late summer night in Highland Heights, Kentucky, it's FC Cincinnati 2 and Toronto FC 2 set to tangle in an Eastern Conference clash. 3 points, the all-important currency in this late season stage of the competition. The blue and orange hoping to regain form, and the young Reds desperate to find some of their own to save their fading postseason hopes. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Gallagher, and as we look forward to today's contest, much to play for, as a glance at the table will illustrate that here. FC Cincinnati and Toronto FC 2 on opposite sides of this whole equation at this point. FC Cincinnati 2 enjoying a great season, 43 points, scrapping for pole position. On the other side, a stark juxtaposition, Toronto FC 2 needing to get 3 points in the barn. Not mathematically possible for them to be eliminated today, but very necessary to holster as many points as possible as we see how the team unfolds for Tyrone Marshall. A lot of star players in this team. Stefan Chirilla has been excellent leading the line as he is set up in the vanguard of this 3-5-2 shape. He had a goal in stoppage time and an assist in the last meeting versus Toronto FC 2 a couple of weeks ago. For Toronto FC 2, it's a team, again, trying to find themselves. They've operated in a couple different shapes this year. Today, it's a 4-4-2, and this is how it sets up. Julian Attabelli, the one that is worthy of attention, as he has been an excellent sharp tip of the spear this year. 6 goals and 2 assists on the campaign. He will look to cause problems for the opposition today in this one. As we step out onto the field at Northern Kentucky University, again, 2 teams with opposite objectives in terms of what needs to be done for the rest of their season, but very similar objectives in what will pass over the next 90 minutes. 3 points, all important for both sides of this contest here today. These 2 teams have met twice this year. They have split those meetings, both by a score of 2-1. Cincinnati winning the most recent of those competitions. Ready to rock here. Center official tonight is Joe Sergan. He's set the ball. He's blown his whistle. Cincinnati in the blue. In the whites, the side from across the border, Toronto FC 2. The ball rolls, and we're off. Cincinnati at the top of the heap right now, looking to get back in the win column after suffering a loss their last time out. Toronto FC 2, a look at the form book will tell you it's been a struggle for them. Only 1 win in their last 4, only 2 in their last 11. But they have been something of a giant killer this year, having taken points off several of the top teams in this Eastern Conference. Santos just getting in a touch, a throw in to come. A very front-footed style from Tyrone Marshall and FC Cincinnati 2. That 3-5-2 has been prominent in the first team as well this year, as a flick on down line sends the home side into the final third. Ball taken over the end line. It's going to be a corner kick. Adisa De Rosario back in goal today for Toronto FC 2. Several of the most recent matches, it's been Abraham Rodriguez between the pipes. De Rosario hoping to shepherd his flock ahead of this corner kick. Ball in and just nodded wide. Menacing moment there for the home side. It was a well-delivered ball at the near post. I'm not sure who got that final touch towards the target, but a big sigh of relief for the visitors. Direct ball out of the back. Quickly chested down and eaten up by Aguedo. And out of the wide side. Well done and hold up there. Fired in behind, stabbed away. Toronto cue for another throw. Adam Perlman, he's really the one who sets the tempo at the back. Cincinnati reluctant to press their opponent. Adebelli dropping deep. And down the far flank it goes. Adebelli presents himself, approaches the box, steps over. Adebelli! And he digs himself in. Right what they needed. Julian Adebelli flares the roadside into the advantage 4 minutes in. Such a good job to find the space, make that run, and once he got it onto his right foot, little left to down as he plastered that in at the near post. Hunter Morris caught flat-footed. What a start. Toronto FC 2 firing themselves into the lead. Only 2 prior exchanges for this side at FC Cincinnati, yet to get a win on enemy territory, but off to a great start of achieving that today. Seventh of the year for Adebelli. And all to do now for FC Cincinnati 2. Steven Jimenez latches on, making his first appearance in several months. Slack clear, this ball will hang up and stay in play. A little bit awkward here in the corner. Aguedo able to handle it well. The captain, Nico Benalcazar. Toronto getting in the face of their opponent. Caught under the feet there. And Pilford and pushing on. Fisher has it blocked out. Looks like it will trickle over the line, and ball belongs to Toronto FC 2 for a throw. At least that's what Fisher thought. They're going to point and tell them to take this from a little bit further upstream. Maybe a chance for Fisher to get this into the box. Just now joining us, Julian Altobelli, the one who took Toronto FC 2 into the lead right out of the chute. A well-taken strike and looking for more now the roadside. Into the box it goes. Shots blocked. It was Nate Edwards who cut himself free and had a look at goal. Just prying their opponent apart right now, Toronto FC 2. First corner kick of the match. for Toronto FC. Altobelli with in swing, played short. Back into Altobelli, something from the training ground here to the back post. Just a little bit too much loft in the delivery. Ithallo chasing it down in the corner. Asking the questions again. Just dodged away and the foul goes. Ithallo clattering into the man on the ball there. Moises Tablante was the one who drew the infringement. And back in play. Toronto FC2 entering today 10 points out of the 8th spot, and they are playing with that kind of urgency. Ball over the line for a throw. It wouldn't end their hopes of loss today of making the postseason, but it would put a sizable dent in any aspirations to carry their season forward past their final games. It should be said that 3 of their last 6 games will be against teams currently in the 8th spot or lower in the table. That's a risky ball across the back. Just brushed wide. Threaded down line. Finding it so precarious right now, SC Cincinnati 2. That's a little bit of a lazy ball, just taken away by Gato. A no-nonsense bit of defending there at the back by Ithallo. Throwing to come for FC Cincinnati. Feels like it's their first venture into the attacking half. Last 5 minutes at least. Gato. Whistle shrills. And Bo Madem, the one able to win that. And it's a free kick in somewhat prime real estate here for FC Cincinnati too. Belongs to Mboma Dap. High line set here by Toronto FC. And it goes. Back post ball and clutched by the goalkeeper. Adisa De Rosario able to answer the bell. As that one was set to cause problems. Multiple runners at the back post. Trilla chiefly among them. On to Halsey. Brett Halsey getting the run out today. He's made 20 senior appearances for FC Cincinnati. Been a big part of that hyper-successful core this year at the MLS level. Today, plying his trade in MLS NEXT Pro. Schaefer across the line. A well-tuned ball from Halsey, just skipping underneath the studs. Ben Stitz jousting forward in the corner. He's done enough to win it back. Ball in. Falling nicely here to Blante. Chirilla carving, juking, and jiving, and maybe a touch too much from him. Still on for Tablante. Crunching, uprooting tackle though, put in. Charlie Sharp wins the ball back, but it's only for a mere moment. All of a sudden, Toronto FC a little bit hemmed in. FC Cincinnati starting to find the beat in the attack. Line skipping pass, well held up by Chirilla. Laid off, fired at goal, and just bent high. It was Ben Stitz who was shaping to shoot there and just left it a little bit too tall for the target. As this was quite a keen sequence of build-up. Stitz able to sneak in undetected there as the defense closed on Mbomedam. At the quarter-hour mark, FC Cincinnati showing their teeth. Julian Altobelli, the point of separation so far, his scoring strike coming only 3 or 4 minutes into the match. He was able to sneak it in at the near post, squeezing it by Hunter Morris in goal. FC Cincinnati continue to struggle a little bit with this mid-block press from Toronto FC. That goal from Altobelli officially scored in the 4th minute of play as FC Cincinnati look downfield. Aguedo. Once more claustrophobic. Swerving all the way back to Hunter Morse. And Mbomedam. Ball in behind, in for a sweeper keeper action there was De Rosario. Needed to be, there was trouble afoot. Aguedo held up once more. Ben Stitz seeing a very fluid front three right now for Tyrone Marshall and company. And Mbomedam, Trilla, and Stitz all picking up pockets across that front line. Ben Alcazar, such an important tempo setter in the heart of midfield for FC Cincinnati too. He watches on his side, make headway to the attacking ends. Halsey on the turn, Ben Alcazar. Anytime the ball makes its way to the touch line, impacts Toronto FC descending. That's well worked though. And a crunching tackle that sends Trilla spiraling. And a card out of the pocket. Into the book goes Ithalo. Not sure if that was for holding the play up ahead of the impending free kick or the foul itself. Matters not, the first name taken by the center official, Joe Surgan. It could have been for a myriad of things there. Surgan, though, didn't go for the pocket immediately, likely for dissent. You don't want to speculate too much. Over the end line. Punched down a play. FC Cincinnati 2 starting to engage a little bit higher. They sagged off in the early stages. Some coaches will have almost a game script, how they want to tactically approach a game and how they're going to alter things based on different periods. I wonder if this was on the cards from the word go, or if it's a statement of the times with the home side trailing. Matters not now as they track back to defense. Well covered on the far flank. Halsey, though, pops a tire, loses the handle. Fleet Feet trying to weave on that far edge of the 18. Custody remaining with Toronto FC. All the way back to De Rosario. And Othello. Edwards. A crushing tackle sends Charlie Sharp tumbling to the turf. It's a free kick on tap for Toronto FC. Plenty of quality on offer here from Julian Altobelli. He's already shown it once as he is the one who put his side in front 4 minutes into the match. He scored in the last match against Huntsville from a free kick. He'd have to be awfully ambitious to go for goal here. Sorts it out with one of the technical coaches, and Altobelli delivers in. Swerving ball to the near post. Still there, and just clawed out. And one back by Altobelli. He himself thrown down, and then it's another free kick. What a ball that was, just skimming just above turf level. That touch just needed to be slightly better there from Charlie Sharp if he was to get a look at goal. It's that counter pressure again, though, from Toronto FC, causing problems. This free kick poses an even larger looming threat. Altobelli just kind of loitering there at the top of the box. Looks like Jesus Batiz to deliver. Three-man wall. And it goes off the top of that wall as it was cutting towards goal. It will be a corner kick to come. Toronto FC starting to turn up the temperature. Altobelli. Played short. Fisher. And too much carriage. Well-worked sequence of play. A nice passage there for the roadside. You wonder how aggressive they'll be with a goal to defend, and those 3 points so important. They might be on tap for more here, and they are. A disastrous sequence at the back from FC Cincinnati, and merciless in the face of goal. Toronto FC 2 double their lead. It's the hungry dog that runs faster, and that has been the case today. Triggering on the goal kick. A little bit casual there out of the back. And it looked like the chance might be gone for a moment, but not wasting his time to slap it in is Charlie Sharp. Sharp indeed. Toronto FC2 making a statement. You look at the faces, the body language of the FC Cincinnati players, and it looks like they've been hit by a bus. They don't know where to look. Shell-shocked by what's taken place so far. Toronto FC2 side that have not been starved for offense. They've scored 6 goals these last 2 matches. That levels the most they've had in a 2-match span this entire season, and they've added 2 more here today. The task grows greater for FC Cincinnati too. And Alcazar able to win a free kick. It felt like the home side was starting to grab a toehold for a 10-minute patch following the initial scoring strike from Julian Altobelli. The Toronto FC2 were able to make an inquest up the field and apply enough pressure for their opponent to beat themselves effectively, losing the ball off a goal kick. Stitz loses the purchase of it, and a foul is awarded as Stitz tried to recover it. FC2, who have scored in the first 20 minutes in 3 of their last 4 games, 4 out of the last 5, scored early and added to it. It's become a very positive trend for this side as they swashbuckle to the attacking end once more. Perlman. Long strides out of the back. Edwards and Perlman once more. And Fisher. Finally reclaimed by FC Cincinnati. What a touch. Trilla trying to sort this out amidst a crowd, dancing and diving, and somehow retaining the ball for his side. That was graceful stuff on the ball. Halsey. And it poked away from him. That's a little bit of a listless ball, able to salvage something. FC Cincinnati who break forward. Ahedo! And just pushing it wide, raked this shot just beyond the posts. A long, lung-busting run out of the back for London Ahedo, who sensed his moment to catch the spotlight and caught the ball just about right. It's a goal kick, but Adisa De Rosario, not sure if he had much of an option other than to watch the ball just go out and hope for the best. There's a strong headwind starting to bluster in. This portion of the match is brought to you by MedPace, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. Home side hoping that this portion might as well bring better fortunes for them. put on the back foot from the opening gun. Weaving and juking, dribbling on that far flank. Nobody able to summon that under their spell. And it's a throw-in for FC Cincinnati. Drilla. Skyscraping ball in behind. The flag is down for now, and it just skips away from Ben Stitz. Maybe a stud's length away from having the deficit, as De Rosario was keen to the danger. The chested touch is just a little bit better, and it's real problems. A thumping tackle on this near touch line as Edwards loses the plot a bit. It's out for a throw. Now it should be said, this is a Toronto side that have dropped 24 points this year from winning positions. 22 of those coming by way of the natural result itself, and then 2 more in lost shootouts. In MLS Next Pro, if there is not a declared winner at the end of 90 minutes, it goes directly into penalty kicks with an extra point to be grabbed by the winner of that particular part of the contest. Swept back to De Rosario. Also might be prudent to say that Toronto FC2 have yet to win a shootout this season. They're 0-4. In fact, they've lost 7 in a row dating back to last year. At the half-hour mark now. Referee is summoning someone. Ithalo, the only player booked today, and play is allowed to continue now. Ball in from deep. And it's a calm claim from Hunter Morse. All night, FC Cincinnati have struggled with this pressing structure of Toronto FC. They just go direct now, and it works out. And Beaumadem swept wide. To Blante, pressing the issue. Gusting away to the byline, trickling toward goal. Called into action. Necessary for requirements there. Adisa De Rosario. He holds strong. Edwards, a skidding touch, gets away from him. Play allowed to continue, no foul. Ben Alcazar. Now throttling forward to Blante. Just prodded away. Halsey scooped up. Ben Alcazar eyes the target, glancing off the goalkeeper and somehow putting one on the post and staying out. That will spike the heart rate absolutely, as Ben Alcazar. A true strike off the laces. De Rosario just able to do just enough. Wasn't composed goalkeeping, but it is effective at the end of the day. De Rosario. Oh, what a ball that is. Edwards turning the page. Fisher and Edwards again. Calvary arriving. Numbers towards the box for Toronto FC. Altobelli. Foul goes against London Agado. Altobelli casts his shadow. In it goes. Sent spinning away and out for a throw. Goals from Julian Altobelli in the first 5 minutes, and then later on, advantage compounded by Charlie Sharp after a gap at the back from FC Cincinnati 2. That is where we sit. Slicing turn toward the box and a crunching tackle to take it back. Jimenez. Flashing one downfield, not over the head of Edwards. A little bit risque there, trying to take it back to De Rosario, who doesn't arrive in time to deal with it. This portion of the match is brought to you by TQL, official logistics partner of FC Cincinnati. Whistle shrieks in. What's the word here? Joe Surgan does not like something taking place in front of the technical area of FC Cincinnati 2. He's trying to get a lid on things as he has words for a pair of players there. Looks like that's Charlie Sharp and Agado, who are directly being spoken to, but maybe more so setting the tempo and tone for everybody on the field as this one's starting to escalate a little bit in its intensity. Big swigs of water, and looks like a player maybe being checked out by the physio. There's a rule on trial here that if a player requires more than 15 seconds of attention with an injury or something that might cause stoppage to play, that they must come off for precisely 3 minutes. But in the case that the player is being tended to off the field, that rule does not apply. That does appear to be the case for Steven Jimenez, although he's yet to rejoin the play. Pressing on to it, another hard collision there. The ball was loose, and Moises Tablante threw himself in. Sharp-eyed switch of play. Batiz, and batted out of touch. Another foul given. A match that has not been lacking in physicality. So I have a 10th foul given over the duration of the contest. 6 against FC Cincinnati, 4 against Toronto FC. Thrashing forward down the line. It was Halsey who couldn't cut himself free. A gate out. Sent away by Morse. Trilla dodging tackles. And a heady move to just stick his rear end out and absorb that contact. Win a foul in a tight spot. Trilla almost like Teflon on the ball. Just able to find himself free of the stabbing attempts of all that oppose. A tiny turn from Mbomadap. And now Schaefer flies one down to Halsey. Needed more precision there. A little bit of an aimless clearance all the way back to Hunter Morse. Floating towards Perlman. On to De Rosario. That's a cool-headed pass out of the back from De Rosario with pressure in his face. Sets his side forward. Shoulder-to-shoulder bump there and out for a throw. And Mbomadap searching for space. Just contested there by Nate Edwards, and that effort is rewarded as his side win the ball high. An FC Cincinnati side that came into this game experiencing something of a goal drought, hadn't scored in 240 minutes of live play, and they have lacked that cutting edge here so far in this first half. Not been a problem for them most of the year. They've scored multiple goals on 11 occasions already this season. That's more than they did all of last year. They only had 9 a season ago. But right now they're having to play the other role as the team they face is tallied twice in this first frame. Latching on, Toronto SC pressing and probing and down in the box. And what's the word? It appears to be a harmless goal kick. It was a confirmed point from the official. To the precise location was the question, but it was toward the goalkeeper, not toward the spot. On to it, FC Cincinnati. Is there a goal in this half for them? Fluttering switch of play, it's Halsey in space. Ben Alcazar couldn't return the favor. Looked like Halsey had just loaned the ball there as he presented for the give and go. Ahedo to Blante. Swiveling infield and back to Schaefer. And a hard charging foul there. See if the official reaches for the pocket at all. Jesus Batiz who went in. This portion of the match is brought to you by the First Financial Bank, official bank of FC Cincinnati. Into these final flames and flickers of the first half. Breezing away. Advantage is played, and the advantage quickly subsided after another foul was committed. A tangle about 10 yards in from the touchline, and a yellow card to be shown. Initial foul not committed by Jimenez, but the second one certainly was. And Alcazar, the one who initially got a piece of the ball carrier. Finished off by Jimenez, and he's the one who goes in the book for stopping a promising attack. Othello played wide. Onto it's Edwards, and just about nibbled away. That was trouble. But now it goes to the other end. It's Halsey, and boomed away. Approaching stoppage time. Thrust downfield, a flick on header. It is at the discretion of the board now, waiting for it to go up. Throttling forward to Blante, cuts it across the box, toward goal, batted around and knocked out for nothing more than a corner kick, as Mboma Dam was the one eyeing the target. It was a heavy touch initially from him, returned by Chirilla. He just couldn't parse that crowd there. Kenji Mboma Dam have to settle for a corner. Cincinnati yet to technically put a shot on target. High hanging corner, still there. Stitz has his shot just about blocked, and the whistle goes as a Toronto player seems to be ailing. Trying to get a clear look at who that was. You see that right there. Player going to ground after coming together with London Ahedo. Just hope everybody's all right. Potential head injuries, nothing to be trifled with. That's been a point of enforcement across the game these last couple years. If you need a clear confirmation, it's 3 minutes of stoppage time, but this should extend that. Been such a positive start for Toronto SC. Goals from Altobelli. Only 5 minutes in, scoring in the 4th minute, and then Charlie Sharp extending the lead just beyond the 20th. Vizio's applying all necessary examination. It was a hard fall. Oftentimes the actual collision, not the issue with these potential head injuries. It's the whiplashing effect after hitting the ground. Gladly the player up on his feet. Just a look at the back of the head. I think that was Adam Perlman who went down. And he's just testing the legs right now. Again, it's at the official's discretion, but advised to stop the stoppage time clock in the instance of a pause in play in that period. We are past the 3 minutes allotted. They are being very thorough with this examination, and for good reason. Perlman will have to come off here. Chargers off the pitch. This side will be down for 10, at least for the moment. Injury occurred about a minute into the stoppage time that was given. Perlman's already trying to come back on. And he does rejoin. Potential head injuries exempt to that 3-minute rule. Away by De Rosario. Down the line to Batiz. Jesus Batiz looking at just about swept up, but given right back. Shot from distance, and what a save! Hunter Morse, an acrobatic touch to take it off target. Had a hit and met strong resistance in goal. That will light the flash bulbs. But it is still danger as there's a corner to come. And this would be awfully deflating for FC Cincinnati. And Toronto could find Pater here. An outswinger from Altobelli. Didn't get by the first man. Turning and burning, firing into the box. Once more blotted out. And 2 whistles bring an end to the half. It was one that was high-flying and one that brings smiles to the faces of the side north of the border. Toronto FC 2 struck early and then struck once more. They hold a 2-0 advantage at the break. Once more, our score at the half is 2-0. We will have highlights and first half stats coming up. But first, Michel Montaigne sits down with U.S. soccer legend Cobi Jones.
What's up, guys? I am beyond thrilled and honored to be sitting down today with the all-time leader in caps for the U.S. men's national team, U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer, all-around amazing human being, Cobi Jones. Cobi, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Here, actually close to-ish, your hometown. We're going to start by reminding everyone, grew up here, played high school at Thousand Oaks, have really been an integral part of bringing soccer to your hometown of Ventura County. When you think about the fact that you now have a professional team in really your backyard, how does that sound?
Well, fantastic, number one. I have to correct a little thing. I went to high school in Westlake. Because Westlake and Thousand Oaks are rivals. So, you know, we'll kill each other. So
my God. Okay.
But you know, it's all so close. You know, Westlake, Thousand Oaks, Newberry Park. You know, that Conejo Valley area, that all in Ventura. You know, is so much a part of my youth. You know, my youth landscape and growing up. So to bring a professional team to my hometown, you know, that area where everyone can participate, to actually give kids the opportunity to play the sport. Because one thing I always find is it's difficult to play this game, you know, at a youth age. And when you hear it from the kids, you hear it from the parents, you have to drive so far, but now to actually bring an opportunity for the kids to see professional soccer right there, it's close by, you know, I couldn't ask for anything else.
As you think back to those days of playing youth soccer and growing up here, how would you describe that experience?
It was wonderful. You know, I gotta admit it, I had a great time. I loved this sport. You know, that's what kept me going. Look, I wasn't always, you know, a lot of people would think from the history, oh, you must have been the best player on your team and all that stuff. No, that wasn't me. I just played hard. I loved playing the game. That's what drew me back all the time. That's what kept me going, you know, with all the obstacles and various things that were in the way. Why? Because I loved the game, you know, so much. And to play it in Ventura County, that Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, that whole area, I look back now and just go like, wow, those were some really surreal moments in time. It's not the same anymore. You know, one of the big things I gotta say, and I'll try to keep this short, is just how it all started, in the fact that, you know, I was driving by a park and saw my cousin, and my parents just pulled over and asked the coach, can he play? And the coach said, yes, tossed a jersey, and then I'm out there kicking the ball around, and that's how it started. That to me is it's so different than how it is now.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
That just is a testament to just the beauty and just the rawness and the originality of the game. And if we can get anywhere like that in the future, you know, oh, I'd be happy.
What was your role in bringing this professional club to Ventura County?
That's always interesting when people ask that. There's a variety of different things that I've done. You can't pin it to really any one thing. I would say, you know, obviously Westlake Thousand Oaks being my hometown, me being a part of it was significant for, I guess, however you want to put it, completing the situation of bringing VCFC there, because, you know, you want to have kind of like, for MLS, it's about having that legacy type of situation. You know, so for me, it was about, yes, being a part of it, helping to be like a quote unquote like face of it, but also to be active within it. You know, I don't want to be just like, okay, yeah, you can use my name and go ahead. No,
yeah.
I want to be there because I want to make sure that it's the right way. If I'm going to be a part of it, I want to make sure that we are affecting the right people, giving the opportunities to the right people. It's like going home, right? If you go home, you don't want to just like leave it behind and just go, oh yeah, you take care of it. Yeah. No, if this is like my home, I want to be a big part of it. So I'm involved in a lot of various things within the club.
When you watch the games as they are now, you kind of mentioned the growth of the sport, but watching them, being an involved part of one of these clubs in MLS NEXT Pro, what does that say about the growth of the sport in this country?
I think this is a very significant part of the growth of soccer in the United States. We have seen it grow exponentially over the years. I've seen it grow exponentially from the 90s into the early 2000s, and there's always these seminal moments, you know, be it the '94 World Cup, you know, the '99ers for the women, all these various points. But then you also have to have a base that continues that growth. And I think MLS Next Pro is one of those stepping stones that's going to allow a base where no matter what happens at the highest level, success, failure, hopefully not failure, but you continue to grow no matter what. And if we are helping young players to have that opportunity to play day in, day out at a high competitive level, that's only going to help the game within the United States.
All right, I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about your career because it has been one of the pillars in growing the game here in this country. We mentioned all the success with the U.S. men's national team. Of course, we also have to mention domestically all the success with LA Galaxy. When you look back on your career, what stands out to you now?
Championships.
Spoken like a true player.
No, look, that's what you're playing this for, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old school. I play to win. You know, I'm not out there just to have fun. And if you talk to some of my old teammates, you know, one of the things they will say that, yeah, I like to have a good time. But I would guarantee they'd say I was very competitive. You know, not just on the field, but it could be anything from, you know, the water bottle in the locker room, toss it up to see who's going to get it first. You know, those are things that we did, and you want to win, you want to be competitive. But outside of that, the natural, which I hope for every, you know, competitive athlete, the natural is to win championships. I look back in other moments that stand out. It's really not so much, you know, the games themselves. It's the locker room. Those are the moments. It's being with the guys, you know, on the road. Those are things that have become more prominent, you know, in my life as I've gotten older, because I realize, you know, you don't get that in anything, you know, anymore. You don't get the locker room experience like that, no matter what you're doing. So it's almost like you're trying to find a way to find that again some way, somehow, but you can't. So yeah, that's one of the things that really started standing out as well, is those locker room moments and good times with the guys. You know, that's why we try to get together and bond. You know, again, reunions everywhere. You know?
Cobi, as we wrap up, just want to ask: are there any special projects in the world of Cobi Jones going on that you want to share or talk about?
Well, I think, other than BC,
the one right there.
Other than this one right now, this is a pretty big project going on right now. You know, maybe we'll have to meet again, because I know there are some things that are in the works that I would like to let everybody know about. So hopefully you'll invite me back, you know, at some point.
A perfect tease to leave you wanting more. I appreciate the time, Cobi.
Thanks for having me.
That does it for this episode, a very special episode with a very special guest for MLS Next Pro.
Catch the extended version of that interview by visiting MLSNextPro.com. That was a blast from the past as we look forward to the present day. Results rolling in from this past week of live match action. So important at this stage in the competition to be playing at your absolute best and getting all 3 points when available as teams jockey for playoff seeding. And the score in this particular match is one that favors Toronto FC2 in that department, as they sit ahead 2-0 on the road at the table topper FC Cincinnati 2. But before we meet Chattanooga goalkeeper Jean-Antoine, we want to tell you about the upcoming MLS Next Pro newsletter. Sign up for it today.
What's up, guys? Today we're sitting down with Chattanooga FC goalkeeper Jean-Antoine. Jean, thank you for teaching us how to say your name and for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Jean, with having played in several leagues and in several parts of the world even, what is your impression of MLS Next Pro now that you're over halfway through this first season in this league?
My first impression of the league, it's not easy. At first, when we first find out we were coming to MLS Next, it's like in my head we're gonna play against academy kids. That should be a bit easier, but they're more talented and they run a lot.
They certainly do that. You also got to partake in an experience that not many people get to. You got to be a part of Goalie Wars, the second edition, MLS NEXT Pro wise. What would you describe that Goalie Wars experience like now that you've had some time to reflect on the entire week there?
Wow, what can I say? It's like it was amazing. I was grateful to be a part of it and try to represent my team the best way that I can, which I did. I had a lot of fun, and you guys were so amazing. Everybody was so friendly, and it was a great experience.
I know you didn't get to walk away with the belt, but what was your favorite part of the whole experience?
My favorite experience is when before we first started the first play against Chituru, the first game, I usually don't get nervous. It's like all the camera was on me, so I was like freaking out. I even kneeled down a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And then even before, you know how the countdown started happening, 1, 2, 3. I struck the ball at like 2, and the ref was like, I'm like, I'm so sorry.
That's hilarious. But we know you don't get nervous when you're in the goal during regular matches. How would you describe your role on this team, especially considering what you said, right? There's a lot of academy guys, there's a lot of younger players. How do you feel like you kind of lead this group?
My role in this team is trying to motivate the guys, even when things are going well, even when they're not going well. So I have to like be that dad figure on the field, trying to help them when things are going bad. It's my job to like help them fix things. And when it's going right, I have to make sure we keep it going right at the same time.
As a player, what does success look like to you this year?
Success is bringing the championship here to Chattanooga, and that's the only way we're gonna get the success that we need, because we started the season really well, and we had a deeper form in the middle of the season. But right now we're trying to finish the season on a high note and then get in the playoff. Hopefully we could make a good push.
I know there's a lot of people hoping that that's what you guys are able to accomplish this year. Being from, even another country, how would you describe what the support of this Chattanooga XT Supporters Club means to you in the city?
It's everything. Like wherever you go in the city, like you meet 1 or 2 person that know about the team. They want to talk to you about the team. Like even on our away games, our fans, they travel like so far to support us. So it's amazing. So we're trying to do everything we can to bring them back some joy and excitement and put the city on the map.
Well, I know that if you guys make the playoffs, they will certainly be on the road for that as well. Jean, thank you so much for the time, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
The pleasure is always ours. That does it for this episode of Players Profile with Jean Antoine.
At the break here, a look back at the first half, and it was a quick fire starter for Toronto SC2. It came in the form of Julian Altobelli, who sprayed one in at the near post. Helpless there, Hunter Morse to keep it out. And it was 1-0 just like that. Already FC Cincinnati a little bit shell-shocked, and they were worse for wear here, trying to build out of the back on a goal kick. Quickly triggering in the pressing action was Toronto FC2, and spinning it home with much aplomb there was Charlie Sharp. Productive finish to a productive half in terms of scoring. On the front foot here, though, it was FC Cincinnati 2, and just leaving one just wide there was London Ahedo. He made the long run up out of the back, sensing his opportunity. FC Cincinnati would keep the pressure on throughout the half. A save forced here from De Rosario. It was less than nerve-fraying there, but he put it onto the post and got it back. And here's a little bit more affirmed goalkeeping from Hunter Morse, who pushes that wide in stoppage time. As we look at the first half stats, not a lot of offensive inquiry from FC Cincinnati 2. Only one shot on target out of their 6 total. A little bit more fruitful on the offensive end so far for Toronto FC2. Both sides being pretty aggressive with the ball. About 90% pass completion from FC Cincinnati 2. As we cast our attention toward the second half, the home side with a lot of work cut out for them in this second 45 as we are off here. Again, it's important to note that Toronto FC have struggled to hold leads all year long. This match is far from done. Our opponent today, one that is certainly full of goals, even if they haven't been as of late. Looks like Lucas Olguin has checked in and joined up for Toronto FC, replacing Richard Chukwu. Chukwu back in the starting lineup today, making only his third start of the season. He gets 45 minutes before Olguin sets to come on. 10 substitution appearances, the joint most on this Toronto FC team coming into today. Last game was the first one that was not a start for Olguin since early July after 6 consecutive. He comes off the bench though for his second successive match to try and shore things up as his side canter forward. Here's Olguin. A deep cross, taken down by Sharp. Couldn't funnel through. Still on. That's well spotted from Italo. Stanley Lent. Punched wide. Olguin again. And Toronto FC recovering back to their own end after the ball was cleared by FC Cincinnati. Finally, the home side grab hold. Here's Halsey. Gibert. And back to Schaefer. See how aggressive the press is for Gianni Cimini on this Toronto FC side as the loose touch takes it over the line on the far flank. Approaching 300 minutes of live play in which FC Cincinnati have yet to find the back of the net. This has been one of the freest scoring sides in the entire division this year. Here's Halsey, maybe trying to remedy some of those ills. Ball into the box! Bounced up and claimed by Dave Rosario. As that one was certainly one that could have conjured more of a problem, as it just bounced down right in front of Ben Stitz. Unable to provide the final touch. Onto it is Stitz. That's a sweet switch to Blante, flying across the formation, trying to return it to Stintz in a touchline to touchline 1-2. Never got there. Now Gibert. Jimenez. Chirilla. A rare time in which he's caught in possession. It's a dangerous touch. Still trouble. Slash forward. Advantage plate. Onto it's Edwards. Numbers arriving. Nathaniel Edwards. An aimless ball that's blocked out. It will be a corner. Something to keep an eye on as Toronto FC set in to defend and SC Cincinnati extends those quick counters. Something that SC Cincinnati certainly will be somewhat vulnerable to in this half as they must chase on. Fourth corner of the match for Toronto FC. And it goes. Still in the mixer. Just booted clear. Up ahead for Stitz. A taming touch as he turns it forward. And on the run, a sliding intervention from Perlman. And I'm not sure it would have necessarily mattered. Flag is up offside. It was Mboma who went early, but heroic defending there from Adam Perlman. He picked up a knock at the end of the first half. Lanced out of touch by Lucas Olguin. Olguin completing about 92% of his passes this year, the highest mark of any player on this team that has seen action in more than 5 games. His side pinned in. And Mboma fights off a hardy tackle. No whistle for now. Turning the corner. Halsey unable to find a way through. And a looping clearance away from danger. There's a man down. The whistle is one with conviction from the official. Who's having a bit of an issue here. I think it was a technical malfunction of some kind. He and the fourth official frantically trying to get that sorted out. The rest of our crew today, Justin Mack, AR1, Jay Norris, AR2. The fourth official, which you just saw, Alexander Adkins. Of course, the center is Joe Surgan. Referee that's got plenty of experience across the different divisions in the U.S. I think it was the internal communications that were causing a little bit of an issue there. All sorted now, though. FC Cincinnati side that have already scored more goals this year than they did last year by a wide margin, and much more offensive production than the year before, in which they only scored 27. As this one is pushed wide to Batiz, they'll need to find all of that offensive firepower if they're to get back into this in the last 40 minutes. It just has been disconnected, disjointed all match long. That bears out in the hard truth of the numbers. Only one shot on target for FC Cincinnati. That is not the sign of an attack in lockstep. To Blante. And Mboma. He is hammered down, but it's a clean tackle by Olguin. Play carries forward, Olguin. Tolo. De Rosario. Threaded through ball, Batiz. Rounding into shape, rounds his defender, covered well by Halsey. Jaber grateful there, otherwise he would have found himself on a highlight reel. Halsey shadowing that play. Cutting off Batiz inside the area. High bouncer, this is a bit precarious. Aguedo gets rid. Stitz. And Beaumont just lacking plan right now in the attacking end. There's a hard collision there between Etolo and it looked like Ben Stitz. Involves the official. Etolo grabbing at the bridge of his nose. He's already been booked today. Nothing more than a free kick. And it goes. Skipping off the head of somebody in the area. Looked like it last touched Charlie Sharp. And it will be a corner kick. It's Chirilla who will take. 2 assists on the year. It can all change in a snap if FC Cincinnati can find the back of the net. A punch required. The knuckle of De Rosario takes it up and over the frame. That was a potential Olympico if De Rosario didn't intervene. It was Ben Stitz who was lurking in the area, and here it comes again, right back down the throat. It's another great ball at the back post, and it just skims off the frame. Wobbling toward the woodwork off the foot of London Aguedo, who just barely slipped his marker. And I think he may have had a claim there that it touched a Toronto player last, but no matter now. Marko Stojadinovic, who was the one tracking that run at the back post. Closing on the hour mark. A back heel to no one in particular. Ojeda has it. And the foul is awarded to FC Cincinnati. Jimenez. Then Alcazar, Gibert, and now Schaefer with breathing room. Press a little bit more relenting in this frame from Toronto FC. Schaefer. Tumbling towards the end line. Half-hearted clearance does find friendly feet, and then it doesn't. Aguedo. Bodies towards the box. Ben Stitz holding it up. Gibert and Halsey gets the beating of his man, slashes to the byline, just stabbed away. Gibert retraces his steps, interchanging now into the center with Schaefer. How do FC Cincinnati pull this Toronto FC side apart? Move that shape around. It's been a struggle so far. That's the question Tyrone Marshall must answer, the riddle he must solve. as it stands, even with this result, FC Cincinnati would remain atop the table in the East. As things roll in from across the league results going final. Toronto with points to gain as they can hopefully close on their close adversaries in the Eastern Conference with a result. As that one is poked away, and onto it is Halsey, who steps over and strikes out on his own. Stitz available, he picks him out. Ben Stitz cutting in, leaving it for Halsey, who may have been offside. Looked like he was intent to leave that, and the player who was making the run, and Bo Madame, pulled up, and now it's heading the other way. And crashing down, and maybe a reach for the back pocket. It is, it's a red card. Gael Gibert tied up there as Jesus Batiz was racing in behind, and he just didn't quite have the angle right. Stepped on that trailing leg, took him down, and it's a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. An easy red card. And that might be a curtain call for FC Cincinnati with 30 minutes to play. It just got that much harder. Down to 10 men now. And without another match against Toronto FC left on the docket for FC Cincinnati, it means that Gibert will miss the next game in league play, an away day at Chicago Fire 2. And substitutions to be made. Looks like Amir Daly coming on for Halsey. Yair Ramos also coming on. He'll replace Ben Stitz up top. So no natural center back checking into the match to replace the man just sent off. Two attacking players coming on. And it's a dangerous free kick belonging to the roadside. Altobelli could easily go for goal here. Almost the exact same spot that he scored from in the last match against Huntsville. Morse may be called upon here. Altobelli! It had bends, it had venom, but ultimately it didn't have enough to beat Hunter Morse. A little bit more lift, and that may have been a worldie. Building from the back, this portion of the match is brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of FC Cincinnati. Questioning ball in behind, the goalkeeper slipped. De Rosario collects himself in time. He's not been beaten tonight, but he's certainly had a couple moments that have raised an eyebrow. Does enough to catch up to that one there, as this turf pitch probably plays a bit quicker. Just misjudged the bounce. No harm, no foul, though. Up a man here, Toronto FC 2. Starting to settle into a bit of staccato on the ball. Even with the 2-0 advantage, trying to do something about that, Strilla. Can't find himself free. Yellow card to be ushered. This one's starting to bubble up a little bit. Shown to Blante. Foul committed against Staniland. Toronto FC with this result on 28 points, still in the 13th spot. 1 point back of Atlanta United 2 on 29. Inter Miami, the team, bringing up the rear guard as results roll in from today's action on 36 points. Red Bulls 2 and Carolina Core both in action right now. It should be said that FC Cincinnati could have clinched a playoff spot today with a win and a couple other results falling their way, but that feels a far cry at this moment. Lifted forward onto its Edwards. The flag's going to stay down. Body's in the box. Sharp, unable to arrive. And it stays in play. Oh, a smart touch. And a whistling switch. Amir Daly. Ben Alcazar. FC Cincinnati renew the interest. They go forward and then they go backward. Again, Jabert was not replaced, so it will fall upon the shoulders of Ben Alcazar to fill those holes in the back and provide an outlet as FC Cincinnati look to build up. And Bomadam. And just left behind him there. That was Tablante who lost the plot. Wrangled back in tow by FC Cincinnati 2. Daly. And charging forward, Altobelli. The whistle goes, it's a yellow card, a quick one. Yair Ramos shown the caution. Feels fairly academic there. This is an FC Cincinnati side that have only lost consecutive games on a handful of occasions this year. Facing that right now. In fact, they've only lost back-to-back once this year. It was in the second and third matches of the season. And that would include even the technical draw and then defeat in a penalty shootout. Lost their first match of the year on penalties. Still pocketed the point with the draw in the table, and then went on to lose the next two. And since then, it's been high flying for the home side. That has not been true today, though. Coming off a loss to Carolina Core, in which their opponent only had one shot on target. Been a little bit more convincing from the opposition today in Toronto FC. The road does not get easier for FC Cincinnati 2, as first they must go on the road after this game to face Chicago Fire as the foul is given there. And then it will be, hopefully for them, for FC Cincinnati to vanquish some demons against a Columbus Crew side that embarrassed them 6-1 earlier this year. Away to Huntsville, which is a beatable opponent, as they're on the precipice of elimination here tonight from playoff contention. And then another away day at New York City FC2, one of those sides that's vying for the top spot in the East. Altobelli plays a square through ball that was not on the same page with Jesus Batiz. Ben Alcazar. Now Schaefer. Ekhedo streaming downfield. Ekhedo keeping it on. Maybe not. Just ran out of runway. Again, this all changes so quickly if FC Cincinnati can just find one. It only takes one bounce of the ball. But they have been biteless today. Crashing in for a charming tackle at the touchline. Starting with Stanleyland and now to the opposite ends. Oh, that is a wonderful ball in behind. Scrapping for it, that was Edwards. And forces Brian Schaefer to make a tight turn, as he now wedges wide. Ben Alcazar just walking it up. Toronto FC refusing to engage that press that served them so well, maybe serving them less directly in this late stage. No need to bring the fight to their opponent, already leading by 2 goals. This portion of the match is brought to you by Cintas, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. Ben Alcazar looking up. Leaning it wide and right back into his feet. A goal 5 minutes in by Julian Altobelli that saw him climb up the all-time goal-scoring chart for Toronto FC 2. Now only 3 off the all-time mark for the club. That was what set us off. Lead was doubled later on by Charlie Sharp. And then in this half, Kyle Gibert sent off for a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. That's the summary as we sit here in the final 15 minutes just about. Amir Daly trying to write his name on that note card. Chirilla, what a ball. Just glanced away. That was a ball with eyes at the back post. And Bomadem was the one making the run. And that's about an inch away from maybe being 1-0. Or rather 2-1, I should say. Unable to get out of the back here, Toronto FC. Jimenez. Ben Alcazar. This is Amir Daly. Once more, it's Ben Alcazar laying down the rhythm from the back. Seeing him drift almost level to Brian Schaefer and build up now with Gibert out of the match. Ramos. Pass far from piercing, but still might be something. De Rosario able to deal with it. We'll take it to the edge of his box and take every second he can. Tick, 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 tick. Referee's going to get involved here. And now Ogwin will as well. De Rosario. Churning wide, and it's probably a smart play there. Substitutions to come for FC Cincinnati. Castellano coming on, Mangione coming on, and Boumediene has yet to provide the blinding light of quality he often does. Gato also coming off. So 2 forward-thinking players for FC Cincinnati. Again, nothing really for them to gain if they sit back and try and absorb down a man. Maybe something on here, right into the action. Mangione chasing it toward the byline. Given away, Daly. Chirilla sets it up. Ramos. Back behind the ball now, Toronto FC 2. Cincinnati just lacking that quick conviction. That's been the story all match long, winning the ball high there, but unable to advance it much further. And now the task is to break down an opponent that is committed to defending. A yellow card there. It is the one who goes in the book after he trampled an FC Cincinnati player. I think that was Jimenez. Yes, it was. This is the only game in the final 6, including today's contest, for FC Cincinnati against a team that was sitting below the 9th spot. It was supposed to be the easy one. It has proved to be the opposite. Ball into the box. Daly unable to sort it out. Gives a good effort to try and keeping it on, but out for a goal kick. Neil Rigopoulos will come in, replacing Edwards. Really nice shift put in by Edwards down on that far flank. Rigopoulos, part of that U20 CONCACAF championship side that represented Canada a couple months ago. His 19th appearance of the year. One wide, some space here on the flank. Staniland forward. Cross is blocked. She content to just knock it around. Trilla in pursuit and all the way back to De Rosario. Ogwin. Looks like Staniland's moved to that right back spot. off of Edwards. As that ball carries out of touch. One more substitution to be made. It's Hassan Ayari who enters. Altobelli, the one who opened things up, the one coming off. Ayari coming off a match that saw him tally an assist against Huntsville last time out. In for mop-up duty today. Dodged out of play. This portion of the match is brought to you by CTI Clinical Trial and Consulting, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. Again, FC Cincinnati down to 10 men after that denial of a goal scoring opportunity as Gail Gibert tangled up. Jesus Batiz as the referee who made that decision makes another one here, a free kick to be given. Mangione casting his shadow. 3 assists on the year. A welcoming ball to the back post. Unable to keep it on, though. Looked like it was Schaefer stretching to try and square that. It was a well-tuned delivery, a well-thought-out routine. But again, an inch wide, an inch high, and that has been the story of the night for FC Cincinnati, who have yet to produce in the final third. Back in motion. Still only the single shot on target in this half for FC Cincinnati. Even worse, they've yet to have a shot at all in the second 45. De Rosario taken wide. Oh, this is good build up. Ayari wide to Batiz. Whistle goes there. Maybe Batiz a bit too far forward on the last shoulder. Into the 84th minute here. Off the chest of Batiz. High ball onto the foot of Sharp. Trying to bend free. And back by Batiz. '85th minute. 2-0 match. The side that's trailing by a pair of goals is also down a man. Here's Sharp. On the turn. Taken wide, Batiz again. Batiz swerves one in, and it skips all the way across the box. Just about kept on. Goal difference will be important for Toronto FC down the stretch coming into today on -9. So they do have incentive to continue on. See if they can't get another. You're approaching the 87th minute now. On the turn, Olguin. Sanayari. And Perlman. The team with the 2-0 advantage. And firm control of possession as well, as that one right on cue skips away. Swooped up by FC Cincinnati 2 and then given right back. Ogwin slides wide, Batiz. Options all around. Wisely decides to keep hold of the ball. Toward the corner, Ayari. A little bit of a skill show there. Finally, the ball that goes wrong. Ogwin was not connected there with Mark Fisher. It was a smart pass into a pocket of space, but unable to get Fisher in behind there as we head into the 87th minute. Got to be now for FC Cincinnati 2, and once more just not there. Plenty of room to ramble forward. Ayari on for Fisher. And down the line it goes. The flag pops up immediately. Beyond the 88th minute now, as Margopoulos is flagged down. 2-0 match. Toronto FC 2 leads FC Cincinnati 2. We're down a man after the sending off of Gael Gibert. Darted forward. De Rosario slipped out of the box. Toronto FC2 don't care how it gets done. It got done, and they move along. On to the 89th minute now, as you see the clock ticking forward. Ogwin. Well, that's an excellent tackle, just stepping on the ball. Brian Schaefer taking the air right out of the attack. Just waiting on that board to go up now. The only thing really separating this from being dry ink in the history book. You wouldn't imagine there's to be much stoppage time in this frame, as chopped down there on the far flank was Jesus Castellano. There's a sub coming. Yanir Valoyes will come on. Outgoing Stefan Chirilla. He had moments in this match, Stefan Chirilla did, but not the moment that would matter. His comes on his 13th substitute appearance of the year. Hasn't started a match this season, but has featured plenty. Ball into the box, guided away.
Pete, you with me?
Control room, do you read me? I just lost picture. Ball in. On it up towards goal and taken over the frame. It was Schaefer that ducked underneath that.
They're going to have 4 minutes of stoppage when you get potted back up.
As we cross over the 90th minute. The word is 4 minutes of stoppage time here. Cincinnati SC2 wounded early, and then ushering in what may prove to be the mortal blow. Charlie Sharp just about 20 minutes into the contest. A few forays into the attacking half throughout this frame, but even less attacking verve in the second 45 than the first for the home side. On for Ben Alcazar, who is the author of maybe the best chance of the match so far for FC Cincinnati 2 in that first half. Another collision there, and Valoyes will be whistled down for a foul. FC Cincinnati 2 remaining on top of the table as results roll in from across the league. This was a chance to really start to create some cushion, as there are plenty on their heels for that #1 spot in the Eastern Conference in the postseason. Also important as they will get to pick their opponent. Top 4 seeds getting to do so in the format of this competition's playoffs. Foul brought in. One more change to be made. Andres Dumitru will check in. Knocked around on this near touch line, just raising the studs there of Batiz and out for a throw. Fighting back to grab possession here. Toronto FC2 in these flickering flames of this second half. They've come on the road and gotten everything they would have ever wanted from this match. It started early as that ball into the box is claimed by Hunter Morse. Whistle to the lips of the center official, an examination of the watch. Rolling over the touchline. One more look down at the timepiece. A yellow card for time wasting. Looks like to Ogwin. And chucked right in play. Back to Morse. And driving out of the back, it's Ben Alcazar. All but sewn up. And there it is. Final and official. What a result for Toronto FC2. They finish up a man, but they were up by a goal within 5 minutes, and they never looked back. 2-0 the final from Northern Kentucky University Soccer Stadium. Hitting the highest of heights in this game. Toronto FC2 as we take a look at tonight's man of the match. And of course, not much to doubt, as Julian Altobelli got us going early, sharpening the blade, making a great run to find a pocket of space, and then flashing the quality with a finishing strike that left little to the imagination as Hunter Morse caught flat-footed the audacity to go near post, and it was a precise, piercing blow from Altobelli there. And that was it. That was the game-winning goal, technically 5 minutes in. As again, this one goes down in the books as a final score of 2-0 in favor of the road side. For our entire crew here, Tim McDermott, Yusuf Beg, Lotus Dobles, Simon Peyton Gallagher. Again, the final score here, 2-0. We will talk to you soon, folks. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Good afternoon, good night. We will talk to you soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.